Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. We're here. We're live. Okay. Waiting for everyone to come in. You know how we do here. Hey, Dave. Welcome. You know how we do it here. Okay. We give it 5 minutes. We wait for people to come in. As you come in, leave a comment. Hi, Morero. Hi, Sipika. Hi, Carrie. Welcome. Hi, Carter. Welcome. Hi, Rox. So, you know how we do it. 5 minutes for people to come in. All right. I'm in the back. I'm here. Ikara, can you let everyone know that I'm here? I'm in the back. And I will start in 4 minutes or 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Thompson, Ramon. Okay, welcome. Welcome. I'm here. Okay. Hey guys, can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me? Can you hear me? Press one if you can hear me. Okay, great. So for the newcomers or the people who are coming back, when we do the live, I mute the sound and I give it 5 minutes before we start. Okay? So let's do a quick roll call. Hey Dave. Hey Carrie. Morero Sipica. Welcome. E. Carter. Rox. R. Thompson. Chrissy. Leanne. Sim. Lance. Chikere. Zuripenda. Okay, I hope I got everyone here. Okay. Leanne. Okay. Before we start, Pebbles. Pebbles, Pebbles, Pebbles. You paid for tonight. You did not send me your email. I need your email. Okay? Guys, always remember, if you book group training or a consultation, I have to have your email because how am I going to get in contact with you? Okay? Number 2. Thank you for that. Let me put that up here. Okay? Number 2. Guys, I always 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 thoroughly go over everyone who paid. Okay? You have to be aware that when I send out these emails, they will sometimes send it straight to spam. So you have to check spam. Okay? Whenever we're doing group training and you know you paid, I don't care how much you paid, or even if you didn't pay. Okay? Because people are thinking that I'm not sending these emails out. No, I am. And they're sending them to spam or they're holding them back. Now, the first thing you do is you check spam and you do a search by the subject to see if the email came up. Now, I sent out the first email. Those of you who paid, did you receive the first email to join tonight? Okay, check your email. It should be a Google Calendar Gmail. Okay, everyone should have received that. If you have not, I am going to send out in an hour and a half the second email and the third email. It will be via Yahoo Mail and it will be via Gmail. Okay? Again, I'm sending out 2 more emails via Yahoo Mail and via Gmail. Make sure you receive this. If by 7 p.m. or if by better yet 6:50 Eastern Standard Time, you have not received an email to join, email me. Okay? Because people are thinking I'm not sending out these emails when I am. Why would I do that? Okay? Think about it. People think for a second, why would I want to ruin my relationship with you for 30 bucks or for nothing? Because I make it open to people. If you're having a hard time and you want to be there, I make it open to people. I said, hey, listen, all I ask is that just be honest. If you can't afford it, pay it. It's 30 bucks. If you can't afford it, if you can afford something, pay something. And if you can't, I am not going to tell you no. Thank you, Queen. Wonderful. Now think about this. Why would I ruin my healthy relationship that I have been working hard at to develop for years? over not sending you an email. Why would I do that? Why would I ruin building a long-term relationship with you guys for $30, for $20, for $10 for free? People think if you paid and you didn't get an email, it's the email gods that are blocking it, right? So two more emails are going out, right? So we're going to discuss where we are today. So I spent the whole day, well, from last night. I spent the whole day last night. No, sorry, yesterday evening in meditation for the peoples of the earth that are being butchered by the people who trade in blood. Okay. Show of hands, how many know that unfortunately this planet is ruled by entities that trade in energy, energy in the form of loosh, energy in the form of labor, and production, energy in the form of production, energy in the form of mental energy, sexual energy, visual energy. Okay. How many of you know that at the upper echelons of this planet, they trade in blood? Show of hands. Thank you, Zuri. Thank you, Leanne. Only two people? Oh my God, I'm shocked. What have I been doing all these years? Only two people? Oh, I haven't been doing my job. Okay, let's try this another way. Okay, four people, five people. I haven't been doing my job. Six people. Okay, let's repeat. How many of us, cosmic being, cosmic beings, because we are cosmic, unfortunately, because of this blood covenant, we're bound here. Okay. How many of us, cosmic beings, know that at the upper echelons, they trade in blood? How many of us know this? So far we have one, two. Those of you who answer, don't answer again. We have one, two, three, four, five, six. We have six. Those of you who answer, don't answer again. And thank you for answering. We have seven. Okay. So we got 27 people here, and only seven people realize I haven't been doing my job. Eight. Okay. That's okay. We're getting somewhere. Nine. Okay. We come on. We got to break 10. Come on. Two more to break 10. Let me say this again. 10. Okay. One more. And be honest. Answer honestly because this is some serious stuff here, right? Okay. So 10 people. All right. So tonight's group training, okay? This is what I was led to do. I was led by my spirit for tonight's group training um is dealing 11. Okay, thank you. It's going to deal with these ancient blood covenants. People, this planet 12, thank you, is drenched in blood. Open your eyes. At no point in time is there a place on this planet where there's peace. And the bloodshed is getting worse. We today, those of us today who do not trade in blood. We did not make these covenants. We inherited these covenants. And many of us did not do the work and the thinking. The thinking. Let me say this again. Many of us today have not done the inner work and the spiritual work, which requires thinking, the asking, the question about these blood covenants. Wonderful, Carrie. Thank you. Why did we inherit a blood drenched planet? Why is it that our religions that tell us about God shed the most blood? Why do we think it so casually to shed the blood of children? Okay, and I'm not one of these people that bash people over the head because they eat meat, because I understand it's a cycle. You eat an animal, you die, animals eat you. I mean, this is a cycle, okay? And I'm not talking about the, unfortunately, the natural cycle that's here because we are on a planet that's dense, meaning we're being pulled towards the earth instead of being pulled in the opposite direction. Instead of us being light, we're heavy. And the more you take on these blood covenants, the heavier you get, the denser you get, to the point that they have to hide under the earth because they're too dense, they're too heavy. Why? Because of all the blood. Some are so dense that they have to hide in the trenches. And these are trenches under the sea. Why? Because they're too dense. Because they're too dense. Why are they hiding in the trenches? Why are they hiding underground? They're too dense to be on the surface. Why? Because this is what trading in blood does. This is what happens when you take that which is sacred and make it profane. Blood should be something that is sacred. And yet, we watch movies where they kill with impunity. And back in the days, when they used to show someone getting killed, it used to be so fake, you know it's fake. But they changed that. They want the bloodshed to be so real that your brain can't tell that it's fake. Now, when there are bombing campaigns, now we're live streaming bloodshed. What do you think this is doing to the atmosphere, people? Do you think this atmosphere is opening gates for cosmic beings of a high vibration to come through? What is streaming? Streaming is sending information in the ether. So now their new thing is to butcher men, women, and children and then live stream it like a movie. What is this doing? And then the worst part about all of this are the people who rejoice watching this, and then the other entities who agree. Blood. And this has so aggravated my soul. Aggravated my soul. That I went to the creator and I said, okay, I can't see, I don't understand what's going on. And because of the energies that's hitting this planet, And many people are anticipating destructive energies. Okay? But nothing is set in stone, people. Things can change. People believe that prophecies, they believed in prophecies and like prophecies can never change. No, 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 no. Things can change. And it changes based upon people's behavior. So I went to the creator and I'm like, listen, I can't stand for this. I can't stand this. I said, something has to end. And the creator showed me, listen, this is one of the ways I am waking people up. It's one of the ways to give them a conscience. Yes, there you go, Carrie. It's one of the ways I am provoking the people to have a conscience. And that's when I began seeing. I began seeing that the airwaves and your interaction with social media is to feed entities, and in return, when the entities transfer their energies to you and you transfer your attention to them, you know what the entities eat? Your empathy. Did anyone hear that? Your empathy, people. Your empathy. I want you to think about this. They eat your sorrow, but it's not just your sorrow. There is something that provokes sorrow. Nini, that's where I'm going. Most people don't have empathy. How many of us remember 30 years ago growing up, the people were filled with empathy? It's vibes and energies, exactly. How many of us remember growing up? Yes, we had our struggles. Yes, there was, segregation and racism, but within each people group, the people were robust. They were filled with empathy. When your neighbor was hungry, no such thing as your neighbor being hungry. Why? Because if you're eating, you made sure your neighbor had food. There was less tech back then. Is anyone on earth today? Do you know one of the first covenants? Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Nathan. Everyone give Nathan some love. Everyone give Nathan some love. Did you guys catch that? Did you guys catch that? I didn't even have to say it. I promise you, the first thing I wrote down was covenants with tech entities. Philly, welcome. The first thing, you guys don't even know that I wrote down a list of things, and at the top was covenant with tech entities. The tech entities feed, but we think it's just loosh thereafter. No. Why is it every time we interact with tech, we lose empathy? We lose empathy. The demons come through the technology. Thank you, Ikara. You guys are awake tonight. We're getting to the roots. Now do you understand why King Oban said, he said, technology is the replacing of the spirit. The more you interact with it, the less spiritual you become. Think about that. So write this down. One of the covenants we must break is our covenant with tech entities. Because eventually they're going to want the tech in everyone. Remember, they already put the tech in me, but I'm robust, filled with love, and filled with empathy. So I overcame the beast and the number of his name. I already did my job, but I have to help you guys overcome this beast by telling you how the beast operates. Tech entities eat your empathy. Tech entities eat your empathy. It's not just your energy they consume. They want that empathy. They want it gone. So you become a non-thinking drone. Okay. The time of ascension is here. And all of these things pertain to blood covenants. Now, the entities in tech, behind the tech, is it right for these entities to want a host? You guys got it. You guys are on it. Thank you, Nathan. You have to be in agreement. No, you don't agree. You must keep the tech neutral. Okay? Neuralink. Why neuro? Why the brain? What's the link? What are they linking it to? Now think about the second covenant. If something wants to consume your energy, your life force, and it sees you as the host, what is it called? Nini, you got it. A parasite. Did everyone catch that? A parasite. Okay. So in the time of ascension, a vampire. That's on the list. So in this time of ascension, we know that we must remain neutral with tech and never feed it our energy, because in return it takes our empathy. Right? Now watch this. The entities that do the feeding are parasites. So what is the second covenant contract we must break? What's the second covenant we have to break in this time of ascension? I believe it. Okay. Thank you, Nathan. Number one. Think about the question I'm saying to you. Think about the question. So we must break our covenant with these tech entities because they consume us. We have identified that the tech entities are parasites. So if the first covenant we break is with tech, the second covenant we break are parasitic covenants. How do we break parasite covenants? You guys know the answer to this. How do you get rid of parasites? That's Neuralink, a parasitic link. That's what it is. Come on, everyone. Your mother and your grandmother. Ah, detox. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Queen. Let's give Queen some love. So, we break. And what do parasites do to the blood? Parasites do what? They leach the oxygen out of the blood. Okay. What happens when people are low on oxygen? They poison the blood. Okay. Are you guys beginning to see the depth of this? Are you guys beginning to see the depth of the blood covenants on earth? Are you beginning to see the depth? Thank you, Chrissy. Of how deep these covenants are. Let me ask you a question. If parasites release toxins into the blood, what happens when blood is shed? What happens during wars? What spreads? What happened during wars, people? If there is a negative relationship between parasites and blood, even though parasites like their host to remain alive, but eventually the parasites kill the host. If you don't deal with the parasites, loss of life. So, what happens during wars when millions of people or thousands of people are killed? What's showing up? Entities. Thank you, Earl. Entities. And what do the entities do? Feed. Are you beginning to see the state of the planet we live on? They begin to do what? They suck the oxygen out of the air. When you go to places that had wars, have you noticed how heavy those places are? They bring in other entities. They bring in legions. Are you beginning to see these covenants at work? Parasites bring in entities. Okay, so the first thing we talked about are these tech entities. So we need a detox from tech. The second thing we noted was that there are entities behind this technology that are parasitic. So we need an anti-parasitic, because the parasites bring in bigger entities. So what's the third type of covenant that must be broken? And the third type of detox we must do? Entity detox. Is anyone writing these things? Yes, 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 yes. I've been to places where they were like literal open. I went to, I mean, it's just so heavy. Okay. It's just so heavy. Yes, Philly, this is the absolute truth. Okay. And for whatever reason, I notice they love to have the cuckoo towers on in black neighborhoods at the highest. And for the love of God, I've been trying to tell black people it's these damn towers. They bring in the entities through the towers. Okay, so we need an entity detachment. I'm going to use Nathan's word. Okay, how do we purify ourselves from entity detachment? I want you guys to think. Yes, Chrissy. But I always teach you guys how to keep the atmosphere around you light and keep your spirit light. The Eiffel Tower. Ah, yes. Yes, yes. Have Organite. Organite is a good one. But Organite doesn't pull out entities that's inside of you or latched onto you. Organite just blocks the entity from coming through. How do you pull entities out from your spirit or dismantle them from attaching themselves to your spirit? Yes, magnetism, a spiritual bath. Now you guys are talking. A spiritual cleanse. Salt, salt, salt. What else do you do? Come on. Spiritual bath, that's number one. What can you do verbally? That's the most powerful way to rid yourself of these entities. What must you do verbally? You burn incense, that's good. Sea salt, that's good. Come on, guys. What must you do with your mouth? Renounce. Break contracts. Are you guys writing this down? We must verbally renounce these entities. We must verbally break contracts with them. We must verbally break their spells. We must verbally curse them. What must we also do to them when we're speaking? We must send them where? Send them back. Verbally declare our sovereignty. Verbally end contracts now with the power of your voice. Why is your voice your number one weapon against entity attachment? Why? Does anyone tell me how the universe was created? It was created with what? You guys know. What does it tell you in Genesis 1? Because it's your will. That's right. Sound. 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 So these entities must hear what? Non-consent, divorce, renege, breaking these contracts, reversing these contracts. Okay. We know that we're dealing with entities that drink blood and eat flesh. What kind of entities are those? That drink blood and eat flesh. What kind of entities are those? The dead. Vampires and zombies. I wasn't expecting that. That's hilarious. The dead, absolutely. The reptilians. Oh, cannibals and vampires. That's what I was expecting. But the comment section is good. It's good. It's really good. Vampire reptiles, carnivores, right. So the entities that deal troglodyte. So the entities that deal in the consumption of flesh and blood. Let me put it to you this way. Does God need to eat flesh? That's a powerful one, Nathan. Does the creator, the one to whom everything came through, does it need to eat flesh, and does it need to drink blood? Ah, everyone said a resounding no. Then let me ask you a question. I want you to explain this. If the creator does not need to eat flesh and drink blood, hold on, then what is this? Is this holy? Is this sacred? Should the creator of the universe be eating organs, intestines? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever smelt burnt organs? Does the smell of burnt intestines smell pleasing? We're dealing with one of the oldest blood covenants on the planet. Have you ever smelled intestines? Now, on top of smelling intestines burning in a hot desert, does that smell pleasing to you? Now, I'm going to ask you, how could the creator of the universe order someone to do this? We're dealing with one of the oldest blood covenants on earth that has trapped the people on earth. Does this look like it came from the creator of the universe to you? All right, let's look at this one. Let's look at this. The place of sacrifice. Let me ask you a question. Does the creator of the universe need sacrifice? Okay, let's go back to the meaning of the word sacrifice. I'm showing you why the planet is a mess. And I'm showing you why we have to break this contract with blood, because this is not of the supreme creator. Let's look at the word sacrifice. Does this look holy to you? I'm going to ask you again. Does this look holy to you? Ah, Zuripenda. That's why we're doing this. Be honest. Let me ask you a question. When you and your wife create a new human being, a child, would you ever slaughter that child? Look at these things, people. I need you to begin to think beyond programming. When you create, you have the powers of creation. This is what differentiates you from a lot of other races. You have the powers of creation in you. We are the humans that are, and I'm not saying there aren't people there aren't entities in the universe with the powers of the creator. But what I know about humans is we have this uncanny ability to create like the creator through imagination. Imagination. Okay? Look at this. Look at this word carefully. Look at the meaning of this word. To slaughter means to kill. Look at our cities. Look at every major city. What is taking place in the major city is the meaning of the word sacrifice means an act of slaughtering. Gun crimes are what? They're sacrifices. That contract didn't start with Atlantis. No, it was a race that arrived here. But I thank you for that, Nathan, but that didn't start with Atlantis. According to what I was told. It might be different from what you're told. Right? So what's taking place in the city? Is it murder or is it sacrifice? When people, and I'm not condemning anyone because sometimes it's needed, but when abortions are taking place, I'm not condemning. I just want people to see, just to think. Is it female reproductive rights or is it sacrifice? Okay, if it's female reproductive rights, why aren't you giving the fetus a proper burial? If it is really female reproductive rights, why aren't you giving the females the fetuses so they can give the fetuses a proper burial? Is it female reproductive rights or is it sacrifices? Let's get to So we see the meaning of the word sacrifice. It means to slaughter something to a god or a spirit. Offer or kill as a religious sacrifice. They offer sacrifices to the spirits. Nini, like I said, I am not here to judge. I'm here to show people that there's more to what they tell us. There is more to what they give us. I am not here to judge, like I said, and I preface that by saying that. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm just here to tell you, understand that when a woman aborts a baby, they take the fetus, and you don't know what they do to your ancestral lines. A fetus is the ancestral lineage, all those who came before you, including you, of your mother and your father. I'll be damned if I turn over my ancestral lineage to a bunch of creatures. Nini, let's continue. I did not, like I said, just understand the occultic meaning of the word. Okay? As soon as that heartbeat is formed, that child has breath. Okay? The child doesn't have breath after it comes out of the womb. It has breath in the womb. And it's drawing its breath from the mother. But I am not here to judge anyone's responsibilities. I'm just showing you, understand these blood covenants are very deep. Okay? I am not here to judge anyone's action. That is not my point. I am here to show you the ways in which they have us covenanted to destroy us. Just think about it. Okay, the place of slaughter. So when we see the word sacrifice, we see slaughter. That is what it is, slaughter to an entity. Now read this. For this reason, the Israelites will bring to the Lord the slaughtered they have been offering in open fields. Let me ask you a question. What creator of the universe? Nathan, that's powerful. That's powerful. What creator of the universe is going to tell its people that they bring dead animals from the open field, give them to a priest in a temple, okay? And then after they massacre the animal, watch this. I'm going to ask you, does this look holy to you? The priest will then sprinkle the blood on the altar. I'm going to answer your question, Earl. Of the Lord at the entrance of the tent of meeting and burn the fat as a pleasing aroma. Have you ever smelled burnt fat? Earl, to answer your question, the Atlanteans did not trade in blood. The Draco arrived here and met them here. The Dracos are the ones who brought the blood covenant. Look at this. Sprinkle blood on the altar. Hold on. You slaughter an animal and then you take its blood and you splatter it over an altar and then you splatter it over the front of a tent. Let me ask you a question. What's going to show up? I want you to think. The spawn of Satan will show up. Has anyone ever smelt blood? Wild animals will show up. Parasites, rats will show up. Okay, let's get to the spiritual side of splattering blood on an altar and splattering blood in the front of a house. Snakes will show up. Nathan? Okay. Scavengers. Let's get to the spiritual side. Spiritually, is anything pure and clean showing up when you cover the altar where the animal or human was murdered, and then you take the blood and then put the blood in front of your house? Is anything showing up holy? Demons coming after murder. The blood is a medium. That's my point. That is my point. But yet this is considered holy. Do you see how this planet, are you beginning to see how this planet is a mess? Let me ask you a question. Would the creator of the universe, the one who creates all life, the one who puts life into the dead, ask for this? Ask for this to be done? Let's get to the root of why this planet became a mess. Can't get triggered. We got to dismantle this wicked covenant. Nini, Nini, we're not blaming women. No one here blamed women. No one here blamed women. And I do not blame women for everything wrong. No, we inherited this mess. Okay? Well said, Philly. That's the point I'm going. That's where I'm getting with it. That's where I'm going with this. Now, this is the root of why this planet is messed up. They took these ancient books and changed the translation to Satanism and plunged this planet into never-ending bloodshed. Let us see how they did it. I am not saying this actually happened. What I'm saying is they codified bloodshed and then they forced it onto the people of Earth. And the planet has not known peace since. And the planet has not ascended since. It is time to break these covenants with hell. And this is the root of this wicked covenant with blood. It is a wicked covenant. You don't shed innocent blood. And Adam knew Eve, his wife. She conceived, bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. She bore his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep. What's another word for sheep? Lamb. What's another word for lamb? Kid. What's another word for kid? Child. Let's continue. Thank you, Zuri. When people refuse to see the truth, you call them what? Sheep. Let's continue. We're deciphering how the occultists changed the text of these books and turned it into Satanism. Abel was a keeper of sheep. Cain was a gardener. Okay, who spilled blood? Okay, which one has blood? Sorry. The sheep has blood or the fruits and vegetables have blood? Which one has blood? I'm showing you the root of why the planet is a mess. And how they infiltrated religion, changed the meaning of texts, and have you practicing satanic blood rituals. Sheep. Sheep is the one with blood. Good. Let's continue. And in this process of time, it came to pass, Cain brought the fruit of the ground, so something bloodless. Abel brought the first of the sheep and their fat. Who brought blood? Did Cain bring blood? Or did Abel bring blood? Abel, who was the first to shed blood? So why are we taught to honor Abel and despise Cain when Cain did not bring something dead, dripping of blood and fat to an entity? It's right in front of you, people. We are taught Abel was good and Cain was evil. But here we read Abel did the first murder. Abel contracted in blood. It's right there. Now let's look at this so-called creator. Let's look at the response of the creator. So Abel brings blood and Abel murders a life. Cain brings something without bloodshed. Let's see the reaction of the creator, so-called creator of the universe. But unto Cain and to his offering, the Lord had no respect. And Cain was angry and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, why are you angry? And why is your countenance fallen? Their Lord said, if you do well, shall you not be accepted? And if you doeth well, does not well, sin lieth at the door. Wait, hold on. Sin occurred before. You shed the blood of an animal. Let me get deeper with the bloodshed. Let me ask you some questions for you to begin to think. If I robbed a bank, does a sheep pay for my sins? Thank you, Nini. Thank you, Philly. Okay. If I robbed a bank, can a goat pay for me robbing a bank? Okay, let me put it to you this way. So I rob a bank, and instead of me saying what I did was wrong, it's wrong for me to rob a bank, I go and kill a sheep as an offering to the creator of the universe. Does that make sense to you? Who should take responsibility for robbing the bank? A sheep or me? Who should make restitution? A sheep or me? How is this holy? How is this sacred, people? Look at the interpretation of this thing. Look at it. Are you seeing the depth of this blood contract that has this planet drenched in blood? And it has to do with a satanic interpretation. These texts were not written like this. We did not arrive here today with people constantly being killed on this planet and their blood shed. We did not get here today by mistakes. We got here because someone created the contract, and we see in Genesis who did it. The contract is evil. The contract here says that if you bring food, you are rejected. But if you shed blood and bring the fat and the dead animal that you killed to an entity, your sins would be forgiven. G, you're welcome. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing how heavy this contract is? So after you go and you kill the sheep, and then you feel good because the deity tells you, you killing that sheep for me is great. Let me ask you another question. If the deity tells you, those people over there sinned against me, I need you to go kill them all. Think about what I'm telling you. Listen carefully. This entity says, fruit, I don't want fruit. Bring meat, kill an animal, rip its guts out, burn the guts, and bring me the fat. That's what I like. And then you do it. And then you feel great because your offering was accepted. Now, let me ask you another question. If that entity turns and tells you, you see those people over there? They sinned against me. I need you to go wipe them out because they sinned against me. Do you think the people are going to do it? Or do you think the people are going to go, wait, wait, whoa, 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 wait, hold on. You think the people are going to stop and say, wait, hold on. I don't think that's right. No, what they're going to do is they're going to think, oh, the last time I killed the animal, I didn't feel too good about it, but I killed it. I took out its intestines. I burnt it on an altar. And the Lord showed up. And I brought the fat. And the Lord loved it and ate it all. And then patted me on my head. I felt great. Even though at first I felt like, I was like, I'm not sure about this. I'm going by what is written here. I'm showing you how they did it, people. I'm showing you. You can't talk about people. You cannot talk about them changing history today if you think they didn't change this book. So there's a big hoopla in the white community that Google AI developers are, creating AI images of America only being black people and Vikings being black, which is ridiculous. Vikings are not black. And I said to them, I said, listen. And they, it's the developers, it's developers. I said, listen to me. I said, where were you people when they depicted Jesus with blonde hair and blue eyes? Jesus, who came from the Middle East. You gave us Jesus for 2,000 years with blonde hair and blue eyes and alabaster skin. I said, then you gave us pharaohs with blonde hair and blue eyes. I said, you think these people just started changing history? And I'm not saying it to be crude or rude. They're making a big hoopla. I said, the second thing is this. I said, you think that a lowly AI developer just woke up one day and decided, I'm going to make Vikings black and I'm going to create black people as the only people in the United States? No, that decision came from where, people? The decision to make everyone in this AI, Google AI, or no white people in America, did that decision come from app developers or did that decision come from the top? Let's focus, guys. Focus on the question. Thank you, E. Carter. E. Carter, anyone who's not focusing on the question, delete their comments. Focus. I need you to focus. The decision came from the top. Okay, let's look at this. Where did the bloodshed come from? Did the bloodshed that Abel did that come from Abel? Or did it come from the top? Well, Abel's top. Abel killing an animal, gutting the animal, taking the organs, burning the organs, and taking the fat and putting the fat in a bowl, and then giving this. It came from what Abel thought was God. So, where did this blood sacrifice come from on this planet? It came from what people thought were gods. The root of all our misery on the planet is from unadulterated bloodshed, blood covenants. And this is one of the earliest blood covenants we see written in stone. Written down blood covenant that we see. And I'm quite sure there's probably older blood covenants than this. Now look at this. This is in Genesis chapter 5 in what people call holy. But when the Spaniards came to the Americas and saw some of the tribes in Central America doing exactly what they see here. No, when I say Lord, I don't mean Lord. Lord means Baal. Okay? When I say Lord, I don't mean, I don't do lords. Okay? When the Spaniards came to the Americas and saw the Aztec and the Mayans, allegedly, because these people lie. They change history. It may never have happened. And it could also be them doing it and then blame the Mayans and the Aztecs. We don't know. But when they came to the Americas, they saw, allegedly, these tribes, some of them, not all of them, practicing the same thing that's written here. What did they do when they saw this? Mass murdered them. Like who? Cain. Like Cain. When Cain saw the blood sacrifice, Cain said, I don't, this ain't holy. Uh-uh. And Cain got condemned. But the same thing was taking place here in the Americas. People, the point I'm trying to make is this. This is the time of ascension. Listen, people, we have to go back in time and begin to break these contracts. We have to go back deep. We're going back very far. And I believe there are blood covenants that are older than the biblical blood covenant, which is not good. You don't shed blood. And you sure as hell don't shed blood for an entity. If any entity comes to you and asks you for blood, it is not the creator. At least know this. Any entity that's saying to you, go there and mass murder people, and then mass murder them in my name, and you will be holy. No, you will not be holy. You'll be drenched in blood. You'll become dense. Your nature will change. You will become bloodthirsty. You will become lawless. Let me show you one of the biggest blood rituals on earth, which a certain group is attempting to redo. And then we will go. Let me show you one of the biggest. This, they want to invoke this. And many simple people think that what they're invoking is a bunch of animals dying. I want you guys to see this. Hold on. Okay. Hold on 1 second here. I want you guys to see this before we go. And this is why we must do our orations to stop this madness. And it is to bring in Leviathan. Give me a second here. Here we go. It is to bring down Leviathan. You people don't understand what these things really mean. Not you guys. I have taught you guys, and you guys are willing to listen. But to the simple, let's look at this. This is what? This is where they're trying to take us. You got to wake up and see where they're trying to take us. And if you think it's animals, they're going to offer up. Let me put this to you this way. Let me show you this first. Okay. So the president of Argentina wants the alleged third temple, which never existed, built. Okay? And let me stress, there was no second temple. It never existed. But allegedly, the president wants this third imaginary temple built, and they have plans to build this. Pay attention. Now, this is the biggest Obia man that people think was holy. Solomon, who never existed. And I know a lot of people, religious, are listening and they're going to be offended. I don't care if you're going to be offended. It's your life I am trying to save. You'll get over your offense when you see what they're planning. Pay attention. So they're calling for the building of this imaginary third temple, which never existed. But let us look at what was done in order for the entity they call God to show up. And then we're done. And I'm going to ask you guys, watch this. 2 Chronicles 7, 422. This is Solomon, not me, Solomon. Okay. Then the king, Solomon, and all the people offered sacrifices. Is a sacrifice? When they offered sacrifice, did it do the sacrifice bleed? Yes, quest for truth. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Quest for truth is correct. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yes. Ah, Pamela understands where this is going. Pamela understands where this is going. Philly understands where this is going. You're almost done. So the people mass murdered sacrifices and brought it to their Lord. Okay. And King Solomon, watch this, offered a sacrifice of 22,000 oxen and 120,000 sheep. What? Thank you, Philly. Thank you, Philly. You guys are seeing. Are you seeing what's taking place? Solomon the king. Solomon the ruler over these so-called people according to this satanic interpretation. Because this is Satanism, people. He murdered 22,000 oxen and 120,000 sheep. Where did this sacrifice take place? Does anyone know the alleged country where this sacrifice took place? Does anyone know where this sacrifice took place? Ah, thank you, Quest. Let's continue. So the king and all the people dedicated the house of God. What God? Thank you, Nini. The oxen and the sheep are who? Let's continue. I heard, Zuri. I heard it ain't gonna happen. Let me continue. The priests waited on their offerings after they mass murdered 142,000 so-called animals. Let's see what they did. The Levites played music and they praised the Lord. Thank you, K. Wright. After they mass murdered alleged oxen and sheep, allegedly, they had a festival where they rejoiced unto the God. Let me ask you a question. What God shows up when the guts and organs of 142,000 animals is being burned on an altar? What God shows up when the blood of 142 animals is spilled on an altar and poured out in front of a temple door? What? Nini. What God shows up? What creator of the universe shows up? What creator of the universe shows up at a party? The people are partying, playing music, dancing, and singing with 142 dead so-called animals. You see how they reinterpreted this book? Hold on. It gets worse. We're almost done. We're almost done. Solomon, who never existed, hollowed out the middle of the court. That was before the house of the Lord. Solomon offered burnt offerings, like Lahaina, and the fat of peace offerings. What God you know eats burnt intestines? What God you know needs fat to calm it down? This is what's coming, people. This is what they're planning, people. Because, watch this, because the brazen altar which Solomon had made was not able to receive burnt offerings and meat offerings and fat. What God you know eats these things? Now let me show you why they do this. Let me show you what happened to Solomon after Solomon did this. Let me show you. After Solomon did this, this is what's coming. Okay. Now after Solomon did this, hold on. We're almost done. Watch this. After Solomon did this massive ritual of mass murdering 20,000 oxen, 22, and 140,000 sheep of alleged animals, alleged, of two-legged animals. Let's continue. And Solomon offered up the intestines and the blood of two-legged animals. Did anyone hear what I said? Because I didn't stutter. After Solomon sacrificed 142,000 two-legged animals, let me show you what happened. Press 1 if you can hear me. We're almost done. We're almost done. This is why we have to do what we're doing tonight. Press 1 if you can hear me. We're almost done. You need to see this. Thank you. You got to get this, because this is what they're attempting to do. Solomon loved his Lord, walking in the statutes of David his father, and he only sacrificed and burnt incense in high places. Solomon went to Gibeon to sacrifice again there, because that was a great high place. 1,000 burnt offerings again of two-legged animals. Now watch this. After the massive blood sacrifice, Solomon went and sacrificed again. And then the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream. Watch what occurred. I'm going to ask you, is this holy? In Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night and said, ask what I shall give you. What? Let me ask you a question. What creator of the universe, after you sacrifice and handed over the guts, the intestines, the colon, the liver, the kidney, the heart, and the fat of 142,000 animals, what creator of the universe is going to show up to you in a dream and say, I will give you whatever you want? And then after you give the heart, the intestines, the colon, the kidneys, you give the organs, after you take all the fat from under the skin, and you give it 142,000, it wasn't enough, you had to go back and give 1,000 more. What creator of the universe is going to show up to you in a dream and tell you, thanks for the offering. Now, whatever you want, I'm going to give it to you. Now, watch. Solomon said, he showed my father great mercy according to walk in the truth and righteousness and yada, yada, yada. Yada, yada, blah, 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 garbage. And now the Lord God, thou as a servant David, father, my little child, da, 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 I'll give you, listen to the answer. And the speech pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this thing, which was wisdom. Listen to what the Lord gave Solomon for sacrificing 142 two-legged animals. Let's continue. God said unto him, 142,000 two-legged Christians and Muslims, because thou hast asked this thing. Let me say it again. After Solomon sacrificed 142,000 Christians and Muslims. Let me say it again. Listen to what the so-called creator of the universe gave Solomon in exchange for organs. And the Lord said unto him, because you asked this thing and have not asked for yourself long life, neither you asked for riches, nor have you asked for your life of your enemies, but you asked for understanding. I have done according to thy word. I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall arise like unto thee. Watch this. And I've given you all the money in the world. Let me ask you a question. What God is going to give you all the money in the world in exchange for the organs of animals? In exchange for the fat of animals? Do you see the mess we're in? You want to know where we are right now at this point in time on earth? Here. This is where we are. Right here. This is where we are. Where a certain group I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Ooh. Where a certain group, where a certain group is ready to bring forth Leviathan, not a marathon. A certain group is ready to run a Leviathan, not a marathon. A certain group, a certain group is ready to build the temple to Leviathan. Let me ask you one last question. In order, we just read, and according to their interpretation, in order for Leviathan to show up, what must you give it in order to get wealth? What must you give it to eat in order for it to give you all the money in the world? You people better wake up, because we're 2 seconds away from them bringing up Leviathan. You better show up tonight. 20 minutes, we're doing the private session. 20 minutes, we're doing the private session. We must nullify this blood covenant. I believe you, Quest. They are preparing to bring up Leviathan, not a marathon. Leviathan. And according to their interpretation, in order for Leviathan to show up and give them all the wealth of the earth, Leviathan needs what? Blood, blood, blood. And what else? Organs. You people better wake up. I'm done. We got 20 minutes before the group training starts. Well, it's more like a spiritual purification. We are going into all these ancestral covenants. We are going into these ancestral blood and organ covenants over Africa, the blood and organ covenants over the Americas, over the Pacific, over the Caribbean. And then the next one for March, we're only dealing with that covenant in Europe, its headquarters, where it lives, and Antarctica. I will see you guys in 20 minutes. Again, Pebbles, I need your email. If you want to be there tonight, email me. And please don't email me literally like 5 minutes before we start. Email me now if you want to be there tonight. Okay? Leviathan people. They told you what their God consumes. Do not become food for these entities. It is right there in the book. Okay? You better wake up and realize how they interpret these things. You better wake up and realize how the hell they interpret these things. Okay? See you in 20 minutes. Love to you guys. I have to go back meditating. See you in 20 minutes. Email me if you want to be there. Let us purify ourselves and denounce and destroy these covenants. Love you. See you in 20 minutes. Bye.